I'm joined by Robin McGraw, who is the founder of the Black Rock Foundation, the sponsor of today's game, which are supporting two worthwhile charities. One is the Warrior for Life Fund, which helps out Navy SEALs or members of the Naval Special Warfare Group to matriculate out of service, and also the Berkshire Law Enforcement Mental Health Awareness Program, which is to support all police officers in Berkshire County. First of all, my friend, welcome.
Thank you very much. First of all, anybody that's in law enforcement in Berkshire County can use this fund to seek mental health counseling. That's what we're focusing on today. Yep.
And this is a Michael J. Silver Memorial Program. A lot of peace officers, first responders go under a lot of mental stress, and this is a program to give them an outlet so it doesn't reach a point of no return.
That's correct. And, I think that everybody knows that law enforcement, very stressful job. Having the ability to get counseling, especially outside of Berkshire County, we believe is very important for any law enforcement officer or any member of their family.
And you're not alone. Okay, and we appreciate your efforts.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Right.
I want to talk about you. In a world full of one-trick ponies, this man is a Pegasus. He's a philanthropist, somebody who's worked with law enforcement. He's worked in the United States fencing team, the national hockey team, senior hockey team, coming off of surgery, slowly coming back. But I want to ask you right away, your trip to Paris this summer, 2024, and the Summer Olympics with the fencing team. Talk about that.
Well, so it was great. So I was in Paris for 2 weeks as the vice president of USA Fencing, and my job's really there to press the flesh and deal with all the supporters that help our sport get to that thing. Paris was very, very well done. They set a very, very high bar around the Olympics. Our fencers did incredibly, especially our women. So we won the gold and silver women's foil, and we won the women's team foil also, gold. And that was very big for us. I mean, that's a big thing, especially when you're in France, because it just upsets France and every other European country. So we had a great time. And I was there with Snoop Dogg and a variety of other celebrities. And I'd like to have been like Snoop Dogg because he got paid $500,000 to be there every day.
Great Olympics. I'm still watching it on Peacock. I'm one of the few people that do watch that. But I want to also talk about your hockey career. And once upon a time, you were in the men's national program, national team. You've come back from multiple surgeries. You look good. It's a slow ramp up, right?
I'll be playing next year. Yeah. So no, I'm about to be 73. I had a great hockey career. I've been able to play against the Bruin alums, I think 8 times. I've coached against them 4 or 5 times. I don't plan on losing today, I can tell you that. So I'm going to coach the law enforcement team today. But I have a whole hockey family, and it's tough for me not to be able to be out there on the ice when these guys are playing. We're very appreciative of what the Bruins do. I've been involved with the Bruins now for quite some time, as well as Warriors for Life. And I'm, be able to call you guys my friends now after all this time is important for us. And we're very appreciative and grateful that the Bruins came out to Berkshire School to play today.
2 things you mentioned. Let's talk about, first of all, this wonderful arena. Berkshire School holds a nice place in your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, so, if you look down behind me, way behind me, there's a banner of my wife's team. She was the woman that started women's hockey here, which is amazing. And the women have won the New England title 6 or 7 times. Both the men and women's team this year are very, very strong. Sadly, they're both on the road today, playing other schools. But Berkshire's looking to having a very strong season of hockey, men and women.
And our other benefactor, aside from the Berkshire County Law Enforcement Mental Health Awareness Program, is also the Warrior for Life Fund. Yeah. You are an ambassador, soon to be on a board member, correct?
Yes. Right. So Warriors for Life supports Navy SEALs during and after their deployment. And as you know, well, maybe you don't know, we spend a huge amount of time training these warriors to be the most elite warriors in the world. And sadly, it's like training the humanity out of them so they can do this job. And when they get out, they need a huge amount of attention paid to them in order to help them be able to get back on track and take the next stage in their life. And Warriors for Life basically does everything in that realm. And we use hockey as a way to get guys off the couch and back out there. So
super.
And they're doing great. So two former SEALs are playing today. And it's going to be a lot of fun to have them out there. They only have one speed, and that is run you over.
You got that right. So this is Mr. Robin McGraw, benefactor, sponsor of today's game. On behalf of the Boston Bruins alumni and myself, I call you friend.
Thank you, John. I call you friend also. Thanks for being here. And how do I get the job with you? I could be the color guy.
You could do a better job than I could.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah. Stand by for Boston Bruins alumni hockey. I'm joined by J.P. Murphy, who is the captain of today's team of the Berkshire County Law Enforcement team. This game, as we mentioned, to benefit two programs. One is the Berkshire County Law Enforcement Mental Health Awareness Program, and the other is the Warrior for Life Fund. But let's talk about the Mental Health Awareness Program. You lost a good friend. This game is being played in his honor. His family's here. Yes. Officer Michael J. Silver.
Yeah, so Mike Silver was a member of our Berkshire County Special Response Team. He was also a member of the Pittsfield Police Department where I served, and he was a close friend. With a lot of us, families are close, and so it was a tough loss for all of us. Since that happened, a portion of this game is now going to go to his family. That was something dictated by the Frank from here with the Bruins, and also the founder of this whole event, E.L. Shapira. Initially, when this started, it was to develop an awareness program as well as an initiative for some mental health support for local law enforcement. As I stated last year in this, a lot of resources are out in the eastern part of the state where you guys are from, and as you start getting more and more out west, it dwindles a bit. We're as far west as you can possibly get here in Berkshire County. So our program was developed so that we can get initiative, get some clinicians on board, some therapists, to save any of the officers in the county from making that trek out to Boston, out to the central part of the state, as well as being something that's anonymous, give them a place to go where we're not worried about, some of these people that we deal with, whether it's at work sometime, close family, friends. It's a tight-knit community. So we want to try and partner with people outside, even with some remote telehealth with that. We began that process last year. We've done a little bit working with Home Base to assist us with it because they have a program set up, especially for veterans. And we're still in the stages of really narrowing down a clinician or a couple with clinicians, therapists, and now we're also leaning to the side of some of our officers in the county. They may have, doctors, therapists they go to regularly, and we're going to try and supplement any co-pays or anything, so we're not pulling them away from who they're comfortable with, but be able to use the funds for that. And like I said, in addition, this year, a portion of the funds are going to go to Mike Silver's family. We just lost him in October of this year. They're going to be here today, too, and, it is a tough event. But the most important thing, when Frank first talked to me about wanting to do this for Mike, just putting it in his name, he all talked about it. And, it's a good thing, even with money aside, it's that his name's out there, people are remembering the man he is, and certainly not going to forget him ever. And I think it's a great thing to partner up with that.
A great, unique program needed in this area of, southwest Massachusetts. Yeah. But people have to understand, like Navy SEALs, police officers, the trauma that they go through, the variety of emotions, the anticipation of a pullover. Is this person armed? Is my life at stake? And then drawing down from that as this nation, unfortunately, becomes a little more violent with each coming year. So we have to look at the feelings of these police officers and before they get to the edge that they can pull back. You're not alone. A lot of other officers experience this. So it's a good foundation, a good program. And if there's somebody out there, police officer, I don't care if you're a police officer, you're a dispatcher, you're an ambulance driver, if you're somebody you're watching this, how can they get a hold of you and your program if they would like to at least be directed to a program near to them?
So again, anyone in the county, like I said, we're in the development stages of this, and it would have been great if right away, once we did the game last year, we had a bunch of therapists lined up. We worked with quite a few, and then things kind of dropped off. But they can certainly contact the Pittsfield Police Department. If you go there, there's a website, main line 413-448-9700. He stated, I'm J.P. Murphy. People can reach out to me, and we have a whole bunch of, 15 other officers throughout the county here that are on my team. They're going to be able to assist with any of that stuff. But hopefully as things get going, we're going to be able to push it out there. But you can certainly reach out to me at the Pittsfield Police Department. We'll point you in the right direction. And like I said, even if it's with assistance with co-pays and stuff like that for people to have a developed therapist with a good relationship, why cut ties with that? If it's comfortable and it works, keep it working. But we want to make sure there's resources out there, and it's just another tool that we want to offer that hopefully we'll have.
So, Blue, active or retired, you're not alone. Reach out to the Pittsfield Police Department, reach out to JP. Finally, you mentioned E.L. Shapira.
Yeah.
EL in Washington, Mass. There is a Washington, Mass, and also Mount Washington, Mass.
Correct.
Has Pugsy Farm, which is essentially a tactical type of course for potential Navy SEALs. Talk about that.
Yeah, so, years ago, y'all saw that there was a need for, health and development with the special, special forces of the military. He started taking a liking to the Navy SEALs, met some people. As time went on, he ended up developing one of the, I think, there's the two primary physical training facilities for the Navy SEALs, in Coronado over in the western part of the country in California, then down at Virginia Beach. He was able to develop and get permission to do everything to develop this obstacle course that they have and some other training stuff. And it's almost like a candidate program for Navy SEALs prior to going into their training, into BUDS, that, if the aptitude shows that they were good for it, if it's something they want to do, they get to train there. They actually partnered up with an active Navy SEAL who's assigned to help them and bring them along. It's a great program, and he has, a lot of stuff up there. And off of that, EL is gracious enough to let our Berkshire County Special Response Team train there. As you touched on earlier, it's a strange climate out there now, and our ability to have a training facility has been getting less and less. Things have been taken away, removed. The only constant for several years now is EL Shapiro up at Pugsy Farm. We use that at our disposal anytime we want, 7 days a week, to go up there and train, whether it's physical fitness, the pool that he has, as well as multiple different ranges and things that we're able to use our armored rescue vehicles and do some training with those too. So it's a heck of a place, and he's such a great guy for putting that on, not only for the Navy SEALs, for us here in the county, and then developing this game here with Frank. So we can't thank him enough for the generosity and the effort he puts in.
And as a historian, there's an outdoor memorial and museum as well. They've got some Chinook helicopters, so it's really a good experience. And if they reach out to Pugsy Farm, Bugzee Farm, they will make arrangements if you'd like to see the facility.
Yes, he does offer tours there, and again, it's by appointment only. It's private property. It's all gated up. But as you just touched on, he does have some Chinook helicopters. He's working on another helicopter now. That are there stationary for memorial purposes, and he has several beautiful memorials for a lot of operations that the Navy SEALs and just our military has gone through over the past few decades. And it's beautiful to have the names of all those soldiers on there that our country's lost, that gave their life for our freedom, and that's really important to him to have all these different things. And he often has the family members, the Gold Star, moms of these, Navy SEALs and other special operators come in and get to see something where their children are up on there. There's their name going to be there for as long as the granite stays up. So it's a great place, and I encourage you to look it up.
Thank you, EL Shapiro. Thank you, Pugsy Farm. Thank you, J.P. Murphy. And on behalf of the Silver family, God bless the Silver family. St. George, may they protect all the officers.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
From the Jackman L. Stewart Athletic Center at the campus a Berkshire school in Sheffield, Massachusetts, it's Boston Bruins alumni hockey, as the Boston Bruins alumni take on the Berkshire Law Enforcement All-Stars in the game to benefit the Warrior for Life Fund and the Berkshire County Law Enforcement Mental Health Awareness Program. Hello, everyone. I'm John Horrigan, joined by the president of the Boston Bruins alumni, Frank Simonetti. First of all, Frank, some weather here, but we'd love to come back to Western Massachusetts and the Berkshires.
We do love coming back here, John. We don't get out here enough, and there are a tremendous amount of Bruins fans here. And turns out, quite a few Rangers fans. So we're out competing for our seniority here.
Let's talk about the game. This is Berkshire School. We've been out here numerous times throughout this past century as we come into the year 2025. But we made a lot of friends. One is E.L. Shapiro, who came up with a training facility, an obstacle course and tactical training facility for Navy SEALs called Pugsy Farm.
Yeah, and I've been out there a couple of times. A.L. is a wonderful person, wonderful human, and really believes in recognizing the military that have made the ultimate sacrifice in some of the biggest moments in the war on terror. And he says, sometimes the country has forgotten, but he hasn't, and he wants to memorialize these men and women that have paid the ultimate price. And he has a wonderful farm, Pugsy and Gus Farm, with a lot of memorials and obstacle course, and there's tours available. And he's just a big-hearted person who does it on his own funding, He doesn't get funding from anybody, and it's that important to him to recognize these people.
Also, Robin McGraw, the BlackRock Foundation sponsor, event coordinator for today's game, longtime friend of the Boston Bruins alumni.
Robin has done, I'm not sure, I've lost count of how many games he's organized for us, many supporting the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. The last 2, he's been the lead organizer here at the Berkshire School for pulling all this together for Warrior for Life Fund and the Berkshire Law Enforcement. Robin is also an ambassador for the Warrior for Life Fund now, so he's very helpful in many ways. But I'd like to comment on who we're honoring today and memorializing. It's Michael J. Silver, an officer with the Pittsfield Police Department who passed away in October of 2024. This game is to honor him and to raise funds for his family. He had a wife and 3 children, and they'll be here today and dropping the ceremonial puck. And it's still close to them for when they lost their dad and husband, so it's all we can do to support them and make them feel welcome as part of the community.
And with the Boston Bruins alumni, we always back the blue. And there's also a unique program where we've spoken with J.P. Murphy about this before, about the Berkshire County Law Enforcement Mental Health Awareness Program. These law enforcement people, just like Navy SEALs trying to get out of active duty, they're brought to the brink sometimes, and this is a program to help them, to draw them back, let them know they're not alone.
Yeah, so many in law enforcement, many in the SWAT, the elite law enforcement, they go through a lot of training. They see a lot of things that we would not want to see. They practice with explosives. They practice with guns. They have blast wave TBI trauma. So they deal with issues not only cognitively but emotionally. And the initiative AL is putting in place for health and wellness facility out this way to support them so they don't have to go into Boston is very critical for this group out here. It's very spread out in the Berkshires, so if they can come here to a central location and get support and help, mental health and wellness, that's critical for their longevity.
Let's look at today's lineup. First of all, Warrior for Life Fund. We have a game tomorrow, but also we have a game today here because we're out near EAL's facility, Pugsy Farm. We've got Lieutenant Commander, retired U.S. Navy Mike Fleetwood, and retired Captain Ryan Crowley, the president of the Warrior for Life Fund Navy SEALs. These guys are here always to help us out.
Well, the core of the Warrior for Life Fund is a hockey-based program that's helped the Naval Special Warfare community. It's since grown to provide cognitive health and wellness for the Navy SEAL and Naval Special Warfare communities in Virginia Beach and Coronado. And this year we're also going to be going out to Montana to do an event because many of these guys, when they retire, move out to Montana because there's freedom and space, and a lot of their brothers are out there. So Ryan has been the figurehead in pulling all that together. Warrior for Life Fund is entering its 13th year, doing great work within the Naval Special Warfare community, so much so, and for the inclusion of the Bruins alumni and NHL alumni, the NHL has come and knocked on the door and is a big supporter of Warrior for Life Fund now. So hats off to Ryan. Mike Fleetwood is the glue that keeps a lot of this together. Very detail-oriented guy. And without Mike and Ryan, this thing wouldn't be where it is today. So hats off to them.
Montana, July 4th, John Dutton, Yellowstone country. Talking about these guys and the Warrior for Life Fund. Now we have a roster that is continually supporting them. I looked at our lineup today. We have, of course, ex-NHLers Mark Kumpel, Mike Lawler in the lineup, Andrew Razor Raycroft back in the lineup. We have the 3 Mullins, and we also have returning police officer. He told me he's 20 days away from retirement, but he's not retiring. Greg Johnston, 7 years with the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, John and I played together with the Bruins, and he is just a wonderful human being. Great teammate, great friend, great off the ice, and it didn't surprise me when I heard that he went into law enforcement in the Toronto area. And he is all about coming out whenever he can to support great causes like this. So he'll be in the lineup today, in the lineup tomorrow in our game in Boston, and we hope to see him more after he retires. Love this kid.
Finally, our sponsors who have backed us, Chick-fil-A of Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and James & Whitney Company.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, they continue to be one of our strongest sponsors. And one thing we've never mentioned really, Johnny, on the air is each game they have these offer cards that we hand out to everybody that's here so they can go to Chick-fil-A and get a meal or whatever the offer is that week or that month. And it's something they do, very generous that they do. And on top of reaching down and into the charities that we support. So we love them for doing that. And the same with James and Whitney, the premier roofing and exterior contractors in Maine and New Hampshire. They also reach out and reach down and into some of the charities that we support. So they are very benevolent operations, both of them, and we couldn't ask for better partners. And I will also say that Bauer Hockey, who has outfitted us, they make us look good, play good, feel good. So we couldn't do what we do and look as good as we do without the support of Bauer Hockey.
Great. Noontime matinee. Stand by for Boston Bruins alumni hockey. Thanks, man.